All right. So welcome back to the channel. So in the last video, so over the last few videos, I think the last two videos, right? We have been covering a model called Chatdev, right? It was, I think the most trending paper in papers with code website for quite a while. So we'll be just trying. I think I'll just go through this paper again. I will just go through the content, the summary again. I have already covered the explanation part, right? I have already covered the explanation part previously, so make sure to check it out if you're interested. If you're interested in language models and their abilities, I would highly recommend you to check the video out. Uh, I mean, it is recommended to watch it, the previous video, if you are here, because I'll not cover the paper in I think great detail in this video. It is going to run it, and also in the last video I have tried to run this model, but you know the problem, I have been facing the problem of OpenAI API key, I think for a pretty long time now, relatively, probably like 1 month or 2 months. So I have been facing this problem with API keys, and I finally solved it. So in this video, I just want to make this video to run this model before you. And to be honest, like I am like surprised. I'm just surprised by the I don't know the output that we are able to get it. So first I'll just go through this paper in a very faster speed compared to the last. Probably the first video. I haven't covered the paper in the first video also in great detail, but um we're just going to cover the required things. So the main thing that you want to take away here is that if you want to use a language model directly without using any without building any system like here, it will the model will face with some problems called hallucination. Right? We are not no we will not be able to build a model. We can just solve the problem of software development, and the problem of software development involves many steps, right? um we have to go through different phases. We have to document the journey, test the models, and run the models, and build the models, and it's uh, quite some hefty work. But uh, so therefore, as software development is a pretty complex process, we are here they have introduced a system in which we are going to solve the problems one at a single time, right? We'll be having different phases, and different roles. So we'll just give different roles to each language model, right? We'll just give different roles to different language models, and we're going to run this model. And then we're just going to give we're just going to assign some jobs to each language model, and ask them to work. So we'll have the designing phase in which we'll design the application. I think we'll have some roles, depending on the job, different depending on the phase. We'll have the designing phase, we'll have the coding phase, the testing and documenting phase, and in each phase we're going to have separate language models focusing on separate worlds, separate roles, separate jobs. And yeah, so this is Chatdev. So therefore, we'll use Chatdev. By using simple language models, we'll be facing the problem of hallucination, in which we will just not get the required result in a structured manner. Of course, structure is always better, and the model has language models generally do have the problem of hallucination. Not remembering everything in detail. I have personally experienced this problem, not getting done everything up to mark, up to the prompt. Right? That is, I think, I think a pretty considerable problem that has to be considered. So we'll be solving this problem using Chatdev, especially for software development. Right. So that I think that is the main thing. So we'll have many phases we are having. This is the waterfall model, by the way. It will be having we'll be going one at a time at each phase, and we're going to have so we are going to have, I think here we're going to have like a loop in which we are going to have the reviewer, and we are going to come back to the programmer for debugging the errors, and also we have right and then let's go designing. So in the designing phase, we are going to have I think bunch of roles, right? We're going to have the CEO, the CPO, the CTO. So who's going to design it? First, we're going to assign the roles. We're going to assign the roles for just like in each thing, and we're also going to have a memory stream just to make sure that the models have an idea of what they were talking about previously. So just to make sure that their new decision is not completely naive and not completely new. We just wanted to we just want to take consider on the previous decisions and previous ideas. Of course, different language models might have different ideas and different approaches. In order to um, get the best result, we are going to take in all the proposed decisions, and based on that we'll be doing that. And we'll also build another model called for self-reflection, in order to have employ self-reflection in the model, just to make sure it understands all the previous decisions in order to act wisely based on the previous decisions. We'll build a model called pseudo self, which will just remind all the previous decisions that have been proposed, right? And then I think that will do. And even if there is like any, maybe they are the models are not reaching any conclusion, and maybe in such problems like that, we'll take track all the historical records of conversations between these let's say CU and CPU and etc., in order to get the final and best decision possible, right? Software development is in fact pretty, I think it depends pretty much on like decisions taken. So in order to improve decision making, we'll make sure the model is aware of the previous decisions that have been proposed, right? And then we have the coding phase. We have going to have the CTO, programmer, and art designer. For art, we use art designer for GUI, generating the GUI, the graphical user interface, in which the user can interact with the software, of course. So we'll make sure the art designer will make sure that the design, the art or the GUI, the graphical user interface, is as beginner friendly and as user friendly and as probably beautiful as possible. And we are going to have the programmer, which is of course going to generate the code. And CTO, I think for giving the instructions to programmer at each phase, right? Again, we are going to employ something called sequential atomic. So what we'll be doing is the chat chain is going to um, break the problem. Let's say this phase, the coding phase. So based on the input description, so we're going to have input a description, right? Based on what the model has to generate. So based on the description, the model or the CTO here, in this case, the coding in the coding phase, the CTO will break the problem and break the phase, the coding phase, into several steps or atomic tasks that have to be done in order to solve the problem of in order to finish coding, right? In order to finish coding, the CTO will instruct programmer at every step. At every step, I do not mean like large intervals like in software development, but here as the description is given. So based on the description, every the phase is divided into very small atomic tasks, such that every small task is given to the programmer to implement it, right? Slowly the programmer will develop a program which could finally give us the solution uh, based on the instructions that have been given by the CTO, right? And then I will be using uh, object-oriented programming, and we can just skip all this. And then testing phase, of course, we'll be having a tester which is going to be testing the things, that's testing the code based on the outputs, and based on the description, of course, whether the output matches the description. And then we are going to have maybe we're going to have a reviewer, and we are going to give reviews to the programmer and give outputs to the programmer, so that the programmer can debug the code and solve the errors and rectify the errors and hopefully get to the solution faster, right? The tester executes software, analyzes bugs, proposes modification, and instructs the programmer accordingly, right? Here the tester instructs the programmer based on the output. And then we would have a documenter, of course, a general language model, which is going to document the whole journey, such as the environment variables required, and maybe the libraries that are required, or the libraries that have been used in this program, and etc. Right? And then I think that's it, right? And then we have a bunch of experiments that they have performed. And hopefully you have got, I think a pretty decent understanding by now of what this Chatdev actually does. it automates the whole process of software development, which still is making me mind boggle. Right, when I started deep learning, I didn't thought I wouldn't have even guessed that deep learning would have come this far. To complete to automate the whole software development task. Right, I wouldn't have actually thought. Even back then I was like, I was learning why RNN is LST is better than RNN. Yeah, and, we did have reached a great distance in language modeling, and whole credits I think should be given to the attention mechanism, because it has brought in a breakthrough. Anyway, so let's get started. I think we are going to now let's get started to use this model. We're going to use it, use the program, already the programmed. We have the software. We could access Chatdev now to build, I think, to build software for us. I think they have. I'll just go back. So of course, the paper is available in Papers with Code website. I have already shared it in one of my previous videos. So make sure to check this website out. It has a bunch of cool papers that you can read and maybe look at the code and maybe contribute yourself. Right, we have this repository in Chatdev. Of course, you can just go through the code and maybe understand it by yourself. I think this is the main repository or main part, the main folder. It consists of many. I think, yeah, it consists of many programs. And then we could just go through it maybe if you are interested. Yeah. I think the only problem with like huge development is like, when you're leading papers like this and reading code like this, they have a bunch of imported things, maybe from this repository alone, or maybe some other things. I think that makes like reading, understanding code much harder. I mean, I found it harder, a little harder at least. Um, all right. Anyway, we'll just go through how we will just go through instructions on how to run this software to build our own software. So what can Chatdev do? You can read it everything. I think they also have a demo.mp4, which is quite nice. I haven't checked it out, but we'll just follow this instructions that have been clearly given for us. So before running this, of course, you have to have GitHub, Git to run this, in order to like clone this repository, and then you'll need Conda. You either should have installed Anaconda or Miniconda. It's actually quite simple to install Anaconda. Just go type Miniconda, most preferably. Type Miniconda on the internet, and you'll have a website through which you could download it, and then you can just like open the installer, and it'll just ask for some permissions. Just allow it. Don't worry. And then you'll have the software ready, and it will be downloaded. If you're interested, do that. So first, I'll just clone this repository. I'll just copy this line. Go to create a new command prompt. Just search command prompt in your search. If you are using Mac, use terminal. I'll just copy this. Then we want to clone into Chatdev. After it's finished, you can actually go through your file explorer and like based on where the command prompt is situated, you can just see it. I think my command prompt is situated currently in admin folder, or admin inside admin. So I'll just open admin where that is. Chatdev. Maybe I've mistaken. Search for it maybe. Yeah, where this is. Open folder location. Yeah, so we have Chatdev here. So you can just open this, and we have successfully cloned the repository. And if you can see, you might observe that these are the exact files and folders that are situated in the GitHub repository. So we can just check that out. So anyway, we just go to go through the files, go through the commands. So now we have to create an environment. We have to create a virtual environment in order to run the future commands. I don't think this is mandatory. Maybe it is. I don't have much idea about Conda. We have to, yeah. Anyway, we will create a virtual environment in order to run this, I think, specific program, software to build software. Yeah. So it is creating us our environment, and then we have to activate it. I'll just copy that also. Might take some time, so I'll just wait. Um, yeah, so it is installing us a bunch of packages. Okay, we'll just wait for it, and hopefully it should be done in just a minute. It is taking us a bunch of time, isn't it? Yeah, we'll just wait for it. Doesn't matter. All right. So yeah, we have finally finished. I think creating an environment. Now we can just activate it using this command conda activate. And now we have to get into the Chatdev directory. So for doing that, we'll just call the command cd Chatdev. Right, just going to into that directory. And now we could. I think we should install the requirement.txt, which might take a little while. So I'll just do this. Let's say pip install requirements.txt. Um, so I'll just pretty fast. Mm. And we'll just look how we could like create an environment variable in like conda. I found like this. So this command is not working on Windows even also. I don't know why. But this command is actually not working. So I'll just look. I have found a solution on how to import this the environment variable. So I'll just. I think I've already searched it. Yeah. So yeah, this. So we have to run this command. I think I'll just copy this. Right. Hopefully it is done installing. Right. So I'll just wait a little more time, and it should be done in just a minute. Right. So it is done. Now we could like I think call this command. I think I didn't copy it. I'll just copy this. I'll paste it here, and we should set the name of the variable is OpenAI API key. OpenAI. Make sure to make it syntax correct because the name of the variable matters. Equals. We'll just copy. We'll just create a new API key. If you lost it, then you can use the old one. You can look at the old one. You have to create a new one. I'll just copy that. I'll I'll just add in double quotes, paste it here, and we are good to go. I'll run it, and after a minute, yeah, we have to reactivate our environment. For doing that, I'll just copy this command. I'll paste it here. I'll just reactivate it in order to make the changes. I think, yeah, restart, just like restarting. And now finally we could run this program. In order to run it, we could just call this function. I think the main file is run.py, which we are going to run, and we have to provide these inputs, the description of the idea and the name of the project. You know what? Let's do tic tac toe. Let's try tic tac toe with the model as we'll be able to do it. I'll just say write me a program in which a user can play the game of tic tac toe with computer, where the computer plays in random, right? Yeah. So it's the computer plays in random. I'll just put that in the name of the project. Let's say tic tac toe, like specific capitalization. I'll just run that. Sorry, oh, lost everything. Bear with me, please. Write me a program in which the computer will play the game of tic tac toe with the user, where the computer plays in random, right? Put that, and the name of the project again, we are going to say tic tac toe. And let's hope for the best. So let's run this. Uh, let's hope it works. It might take a little while, but yeah, they're going to use Python, I think, for this task. It'll write the own code for us. So yeah, I mean, you could even read the instructions. I think I'm going to do that. So you'll start with the main file, then go to the ones that are imported by files and so on. Yeah, each instruction is given again by, I think, the CTO. It'll give instructions to the programmer, right? Um, right. It'll take a little while, so it is going to return us the program. Yeah, we could read everything. I'll just show you the conversation between the CTO and the programmer. Yeah, pretty cool. As a program to start with a computer, you have to implement all methods in counterplayer.py file, which contains an unimplemented class. Now implement all methods of the, yeah, I mean, like, yeah, each instruction is given. As I told you, like, we are going to solve this problem and divide it into atomic tasks, and each solve is going to run. Each everything is going to run. So right, yeah, I mean, it is, I think, pretty realistic, right? The conversation between the programmer and the CTO. The tester. I mean, even you could read it. I mean, even I didn't got any. I didn't read any, and the program also looks pretty. Yeah, I think we are going to. Yeah, I think we are going to get a. I think a pretty good GUI, not a simple thing. And I do remember the days when I used to write the game of tic tac toe. I used to program the game of tic tac toe, and now the computer is able to do it and build GUI in a very decent format and very faster than me. It's actually pretty good, right? And the AI is able to program better than the programmers itself. And it might take a little while. I'll just wait for another minute. Hopefully, we could be able to access the application that it is going to build. Yeah, I think it is. Yeah, so actually quite good. Yeah, it is slowly writing the code, like probably part by part, bit by bit, and the instruction is given for like each part, right? For like each part, implement this part, this part, this part, and I'm actually reading it, like not a full extent, but just trying to read it. It is actually going pretty fast. Yeah, so we are getting no new file with like code rewrite code. Uh, yeah, I think we have got a bug set as ID, and it is actually investigating also about the bug, which is actually quite good. Um, it should be over by now. I think in any minute we could. Yeah, I think we have got another error. OS has no attribute. I think the same error. Set SID. I think it is a broken. Might take a little while. I think I'll just leave the job to the computer. Let it do the coding by itself. We are getting the same error. I think. I think we are pretty much stuck in a loop. Maybe I don't know why we got that error. Oh, okay. I mean, we don't have even how to use any error OS dot set SID. So it is just going to remove that thing. I have read it. Yeah, by removing the OS dot set SID. I think it is actually pretty intelligent. The computer, sorry, the model. I think it should be finished by now. Hopefully, yeah. We have also got the requirement text. I think the documenter is doing it, and I think the coding phase is finished. Maybe coding and testing phase, and then finally the documenting phase maybe take a little more time, and it should be over by anyway now. And then we will get started. I think we're just going to run the file. We're just going to see if we have anything in this warehouse. I think we do. Oh yeah, I think we do. We have the main pie. I think I'm going to main file. I'm going to run this. Yeah, we have finished it. The program is finished. Let's try. Let's see how what gets it. What we get. Main.py. I'm running the main.py. And wow, and look at this, right? It might not be up like absolutely wonderful, but it's actually very good, quite good for a computer, for simple AI model to build this amazing application. I'll just try if this works. X. I don't know, not, but there might be an error. I'll just run this again, maybe. I think there is an error here. Game board has no attribute update board. Maybe the board isn't updated, getting updated. But it's actually very quite good. I think I already won here, but the model still keeps continuing the game. Uh, I think maybe we have to do some prompt engineering or stuff. I think that's all we can do now here at least. We can't advise it. I think probably for the next version. I don't think they have that. And we don't even have the reset button. I wonder why. Maybe we'll just. I think maybe this is the file, right? I'll just, I'll try to open it maybe with some editor. Just try to see, or maybe we'll do that in the next video, maybe, or maybe not. So I think I'm going to stop this video here. It's actually enough for us. It's enough for this video. So thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one. So it's actually quite good. The model is able to perform quite well. It is able to generate a good interface, and able to capture news, and even with lesser prompt description, is able to do this. And just imagine the possibilities if you give like maybe higher prompt, and maybe in the future, maybe we could like give feedback, maybe ourselves, we could be the testers, and maybe like that. So thanks for watching. I'll see you next one.